Welcome, everybody, to episode 124 of the Destiny Digest podcast. It's been a couple weeks we've been gone, but we are back at it like a bad habit. My name is Dan Finity. I am going to be the host this evening, and joining us tonight, we have the one and only Epic Dan. Epic Dan, how are you?
Hello.
Good to have you, buddy. And then we have...
to be here.
Then we have the one and only Sami Cat. There can only be one Sami Cat at a time. Did you know that?
It's one. It's me.
It's you. Hi.
Hi, guys. Hi.
Well, welcome in, guys. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. Looking forward to catching up here in just a moment. But first, we got a little bit of housekeeping that we got to get to. You can join us live every Sunday night around 3:30 p.m. Pacific and 6:30 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/Destiny Digest. While you're here, you can ask questions live in chat and help us shape the conversation. Episodes will go live the next day on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Pocket Casts. Wherever you get podcasts, we try to make it available to you. And you can help others find the show by rating and reviewing the show on your podcast platform of choice. And you can even comment on Spotify and YouTube and just talk to us there. We like to keep the conversation rolling in the comment sections on those two platforms as well. So without any further ado, so it's been a couple weeks. I wasn't here for the Renegades review, but I listened back to that episode. You guys all killed it. Bonafide Hero was an excellent host for that one. Yeah. So, I really liked your thoughts on that. How are we feeling a couple weeks later around Renegades?
I feel much better, and I've talked about this on the podcast a bit, but also just in general, I feel way better about Renegades than I felt a few weeks away from Edge of Fate, which is a very low bar, so it's like not going to move the needle for people saying, oh, well, it's better than Edge of Fate. That means I should come back. But I do think it's a significantly better product overall. But I do think that had it not been for, unfortunately or fortunately, had it not been for all of the changes they did, rolling back almost everything in the portal, all the feedback that they took from Ash and Iron, probably helped make what felt like the game was just becoming Portal feel like a very, 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 very solid game instead with Renegades, because I don't really think I think when I counted, I've not spent a lot of time in Portal in Renegades. And unlike Edge of Fate, obviously you do the campaign, then it's basically just getting flooded with just, well, it's time to just live in the portal. And I haven't really I don't know how anyone else feels. I haven't spent a lot of time. I've only done a little bit of Portal when there was something in the portal that I wanted to go for. Like, say it was a targeted scout, or the combat bow, the good scout, or targeted for like some armor, or for like the rocket pulse, which honestly, if Portal had launched like that with Renegades, like it did in Edge of Fate, I think people would have enjoyed and felt significantly better towards Portal. It's a bit too late, but I really enjoyed the little bit of Portal that I've done because I went there for a purpose. I can still play all the game, but if I needed to go for something, like I needed to farm some targeted armor pieces, or I needed to go for a specific weapon for a specific build, the Portal is there. So Renegades I've enjoyed significantly way more. And it's dungeon. It's not a raid, but I have enjoyed the entire package, and it's saying a lot because at least Renegades didn't have a raid, and it only has a dungeon, which is generally I would prefer raids, but as a total package, Renegades is actually really enjoyable right now.
What about you, Sami?
I'm enjoying it. I really enjoyed the campaign. It felt like it had a lot more momentum than, well, I feel like it had a lot more in general than Edge of Fate. But I feel like it wasn't even just like a half year smaller expansion. It had the aura of a full expansion, of a full annual expansion, which is very, very odd thinking, okay, this is just a half year, like 6-month mini expansion out of a full year of Destiny. I kept thinking, wow, this seems like it would totally deserve a its own collector's edition.
Right.
But I feel like we got a lot for Renegades compared to, well, I guess what anyone really thought we would get. The exotic mission was awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
That was unexpected. And I like the quality of life changes. The only thing that I dislike is that, there's a lot actually that I dislike, but there's a lot more that I like than I dislike. The main thing I dislike, though, is while they ended up bringing in Vanguard alerts, which I think is great. I haven't played around with it too much, but it's really, really, it takes a lot to actually get to it. The quality of life things that they brought in to help make up for the bad parts of Portal, you have to dig through the bad parts of Portal to get to. So it just kind of emphasizes how bad Portal is. If they reworked Portal to make it easier to function the stuff that they brought in to help ease how rough the Portal transition was, if they made it easier to access, I think it could go a long way.
Yeah.
It's very, very difficult to know where the fuck Vanguard alerts is at all.
Yeah.
I've been messing around with those a lot more. So my experience with Renegades has been I liked the campaign. It was a little mission shy. I believe I said I sent a note to like Bana for my like initial review of Renegades. It was a little mission shy. Like there were a lot of missions that you had to go do, but most of them were the Lawless Frontier. And while I don't mind that, there were maybe like 6 or 7 bespoke missions in total for the DLC, which I
just don't count the Lawless Frontier. Like I've been telling people, I just don't want people to hate it because of that.
Yeah,
because you are exactly how a lot of people feel. Like I felt the same way. I don't like being. You felt like you were getting taken away, and it feels like I think you said in your posting that it feels like a seasonal.
Yeah, it felt more like a seasonal story thing that like everything got condensed together. And then you played like more of that, which I understand they wanted to get you into that new activity like fast. And like there were things that you did in that, like the one where you had the Falcon and you had to string the AT-ATs up. Like out in the behemoths up out in the tundra. That was cool. Like that was a cool like feeling and a cool mission vibe. The Vanguard alerts of it all, like I've enjoyed hopping in and playing around with those. The Grandmaster Vanguard alert are the things that I've been going for primarily, just to kind of get a feel for the difficulty of those, as like with me and like Mod and Dunes. And those have been surprisingly more fun, even when you're like -50. That's I really, really enjoy those. The portal of it all, it is a mess. It's menus on menus. It's reasons why you step away from Fortnite, right? It's like there's like how many menus until you actually get into a game. And that can be a little frustrating. But I've been really enjoying my time with Renegades so far and my experiences with that. Now, part of that is also like I feel like I have to say that like I was part of a activation with Bungie where we played a lot of the Lawless Frontier. So and I still think that Tharsis Reformation should have won that, but
Totality was winning for most of it, and all of a sudden the last day,
most of it. Yeah,
it's the Pikers like out of nowhere.
The Pikers pulled the big
it reminded
twist.
me of like a race, And like one person is in the lead, they're winning for 90%, and then they're like celebrating, and then like one of the other people just fly by at the last 10% and win.
Unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. They were already celebrating.
It's the betrayal
like,
mechanic,
folks
man.
They're celebrating within like the last 12 hours, and then right at the end, they just come out of nowhere and then win.
Yeah, man, that was wild, but it was a lot of fun. And I got to play a lot more of the Lawless Frontier because of that, and learn kind of the finer edges on that myself. I realized that I was better at invading than I gave myself credit for, so that was nice. Yeah. But overall, like I feel like this is a really solid DLC. I'm way more positive on it than I am with Edge of Fate. I'm currently like writing my written review of the thing for my website, and I have I do have way more positive things to say about Renegades than I do Edge of Fate. I think Edge of Fate got bogged down with how bad the portal was, and that that is forever going to kind of linger with Edge of Fate, even if Edge of Fate had like a fairly solid story and introduced some characters that like people really care about now.
I thought the Edge of Fate story was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it actually felt like a story compared to this one.
Yeah, I think Edge of Fate story is significantly better. That's ruined by everything around it.
Yeah,
which really sucks.
The quality of life.
Yeah,
just made the quality of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
overshadow the good.
Right, but right now I'm feeling fairly positive about Renegades overall. Have you guys been playing anything since? We didn't do the what games have you been playing the past couple weeks? Yeah, you guys have just been
Destiny. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I have not personally gotten tired of it yet.
Yeah.
I generally tell people like the moment I generally always get to a point where like, okay, I'm forcing myself to press launch.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't gotten that point. I haven't really at all gotten to that point. And then there's still a lot of things I still have to personally do.
Mm-hmm.
There's still all the lightsaber stuff. I've gotten most of it. I still have to grind out some of the colors,
the crystals,
I'm
missing
and stuff. A couple of that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I still have personal goals I want to finish that are keeping me invested at least for a couple more weeks before I'm like, okay, now what do I do?
Yeah.
And I think everyone has their own level of like, where are my playtime? What is my playtime going to be invested in?
Mm-hmm.
And from what I can tell, there seems to be plenty for at least a lot of people for X amount of hours.
Right.
I'm excited to finally actually play the game again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been stuck in dungeon mode.
I'm in dungeon mode.
Yeah.
For what is it? I checked this morning for 2 days, and it's like 2 days and 22 hours or something at this point.
Oh.
Congratulations, friend.
I can't wait to see what else Renegades has to offer besides the dungeon and the story.
Well, yeah. Well, so that's something that I wanted to say here, because like we also as we are right now, we are a little under 65 days away from the halfway mark of this DLC. So like we're close. We're not too far, but like it feels longer. I wonder where we're going to be sitting, like at that time period with all of this, and how much will like certain things that we enjoyed today are going to be enjoyed later. But yeah, that was it's interesting. I'm way more positive on this. The equilibrium of it all. How are you guys enjoying Equilibrium? What like Sammy, I know you still haven't beaten your solo flawless HUDless
I haven't beaten
all
it
bow run yet. So, but you've gotten through most of the encounters. You understand what the mechanics are.
I 100% understand it.
Yes.
I just haven't cleared it.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Dan, did you do day one stuff?
Yeah, we did day one.
Mhm.
Got the day one clear. It took longer than I thought it would.
Yeah.
Just because the final boss was such a tight damage window
Mm-hmm.
that I personally can't think of a dungeon contest now that this is our third one. I can't think of one that was as demanding DPS wise so far.
Mm-hmm.
Sunder Doctrine wasn't nearly as DPS demanding, not at all. Vesper's Host a little bit, but it wasn't nearly as bad. Whereas this one, there were multiple. My team, we got him down about 8 or 9 times where his health bar locks back up, but there's no visual health on the screen.
Right.
That happened about 8 hours straight before we finally got the clear over like the course of like a day and a half. We just kept getting there and barely didn't hit it until we finally cleared. Now there is also the other side of it where, you know, there was that world's first team and a lot of the early teams who did it with the controversial magnetic grenade, you know, chunking as they like to call it.
Chunking.
The chunking. So you have both sides of it, but I do think this was a really good contest dungeon. I also really enjoy this dungeon as a solo flawless. I don't know if it's just because of the sandbox that we're in, but I did the contest, I did the solo flawless on all 3 characters, and the one thing I enjoyed about it was all 3 characters were, for different reasons, equally beneficial in a solo flawless. Whereas historically, a lot of times, in order to get it done, most people have to run one build, one class, and then the other 2 are like, you're basically penalizing yourself.
Right.
If you want to run anything else but like Hammer Titan or something, or Devour Warlock. Whereas this is the first time in a long time that I'm like, man, Warlock, Hunter, and Titan all have 1 to 2, maybe 3 builds that you can run, depending on your play style, depending on how many phases you're comfortable doing. Or if you just want to use a lightsaber and just plink away. Like it's more approachable for someone to do this solo than the last couple, which isn't bad considering the last couple for the last 2 years have kind of been demanding on a solo player. And it was a nice change of pace. So I enjoyed that. And I've also enjoyed just the overall system for farming. Like the farming system, which we'll talk about once you get to like the puzzles that unlock the attunement system and the whole how you access all the things on the lightsaber. There's just a lot of really good systems that I hope that they lean into long term.
Yeah.
My issue historically is that they've created systems and then 6 months later they just like don't spend any time on it ever again. I really hope they take this system and make it a foundation long term for raids, for dungeons, for just in-game stuff. I know they did it with Desert Perpetual, so maybe they are doing this, but it's just really nice. It removes a lot of the RNG for farming because I can just say, I want this weapon to be my main thing dropping, or I just want this weapon or this armor piece. I want to focus this and then just do all of my runs and just have that be a priority and be tier 5s, which is also really nice. So I hope they keep doing it. I don't know if Shadow and Order is already being fully built that they can't revert any changes that they're making, because I've seen too many times where they have a really solid system and they decide to just preemptively we're going to switch it up. So I hope they don't do that. But the dungeon is one of the best ones they've done from a challenge standpoint, from a accessibility standpoint, and from a farming standpoint that they've done. I don't want to say ever, but at least for the last couple of years.
Producer Eseipha is asking, is the focusing thing kind of like Menagerie?
I would say it's way more like Into the Light, where once you do the puzzle quest line, you walk up to a kiosk in the dungeon and you pick one of the items you have unlocked already and you say, this. Hold X or whatever, and it's a tuning. So then every drop throughout the dungeon has a very high chance of being that item.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the dungeon, when you complete the dungeon, you get 2 of that drop. So if you are like, I've been farming personally for like the sword. I want like a 6 out of 6 sword. So every run, I'll get a sword, at least one of the encounters or the hidden chests. I generally have gotten at least one from the early end. And then on the boss, when I've done all 3 encounters, I'll get 2 tier 5s of the sword. I don't think tier 5 is easy. I don't want to say I'm guaranteed 3, but the most I've gotten is 4 in a run. The least I've gotten is 2.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still a lot of drops in one singular run.
Mm-hmm.
That seems solid reward for your time investment.
Depending on how skilled you are, how much damage your team is doing. Most of my runs have been like half an hour, so that's a lot of targeted loot in half an hour, 45 minutes, just chilling with chat, just running, just over and over. And because of it not being tied to the weekly like system of like the 1 run per character, you can run as many times as you want, and it doesn't take away any drops. You just keep getting the same drops, or you keep getting chances at those drops. So if you have a couple hours to waste with friends, you can just attune to a drop and then just run.
What's also nice is the secret chests are farmable as well. So you constantly get stuff out of the secret chest, no matter how many times you run it on your character.
None of them are locked out.
Yeah, they're all available. Yeah, so that's super nice about
the only thing you have to lock out for is the exotic, which I'm cool with that. You get the 3 chances, 1 per character. Other than that, you can live in that dungeon if you like. And the lightsaber, dark crystal saber catalyst, the color of the dark saber that everyone cares about, that is also infinite. So like there's every run is a chance at something. So even if I don't get the roll I want on the sullen claw, the sword, I still have a chance every run to get that dark saber. I haven't gotten it yet, but every run I still have a personal. I know everyone else in the podcast has it, but me clearly.
I don't.
You're gonna get it as well once you finish. I guarantee it.
Watch me get it.
Nah.
And the exotic first.
I didn't say that, Dan.
I'll be the last one. Both you and Bana, and I'm pretty sure Tidley has it. Everyone's like, I got it one time.
I was saying this in chat earlier. From what I've heard from people, most of the people have gotten it in the first, within 10 runs or 30 plus. I don't know anyone who's gotten it between like 10 and 30.
I got it in like 5, I was helping that Sunday, and then we ran, we just ran dungeons all day, and around the 5th one is where it dropped for me.
Couldn't be me.
Yeah,
I'll be like Sami. It's either I'll get it first, or I'll just won't get it until forever.
You'll be like Bana, Seth. Bana got he got the exotic, he got the dark saber all in his very first run.
Wow.
He was basically done.
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of stupid. But to me, I have to get there first. I haven't even played the game. So you probably get it, hopefully you get it before I get to the dungeon then. Otherwise, I will feel very sad.
This week alone, I ran it about 25 times and I saw about 14 people get it in my face.
Yeah.
It's because you want it.
It is because I want it.
Yeah, just stop wanting it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just don't want it.
Don't want it.
Just stop. You don't want it. Stop thinking about it.
As long as I get it this year, I'm okay. I only have a few days left.
Yeah, you only got a couple days.
Then I can make the joke. I haven't gotten it all year.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
Oh, no, that's so funny.
But yeah, so Seth, I know you were hanging out on my stream earlier today, and you were watching us run through it, and kind of gauging what you thought of it. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what did you think overall of what you saw?
So I haven't played, I played a tiny little bit earlier, and like I said in chat, Portal is rage-inducing to me
Right.
to this day. Okay. It is
Fair.
literally rage-inducing to
Right.
me. But we're gonna put that aside for now.
Yeah.
Ignore it. But so I haven't really played the game, so I have kind of no clue what the content is at all. I still haven't finished the expansion at all, like the just Edge of Fate expansion story.
Right.
Not completed either. But looking at the dungeon, it looked interesting, like some mechanics that I didn't know. And like the thing is, I didn't pay attention fully, but even then there were mechanics where I was like, oh, what is happening? Which
Probably the whole shadow thing.
Yeah, the force push.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Which is such a cool mechanic. Like the force push as a mechanic is so cool.
I'm glad that
sure
they're leaning into that.
Out.
Yeah.
But like right off the bat, with no explanation and just watching, I had no clue what was happening.
Right.
I was like, what are we doing? It was still cool though, don't get me wrong, it was still cool. I was like, oh, and you know what was interesting? And maybe I'm wrong, so do correct me if I'm wrong, but I was like, oh, it's the first time we have a very humanoid or like human shaped boss.
Yeah, the boss. Yeah.
I was like, that struck me very, very like, I was like, oh, that's the first time that I can like top of my head remember that. Usually it's like, Fallen or whatever other race that we have, but like this one I was like, oh, it's
I don't know what
like
he is or it
humanoid.
is specifically.
Yeah.
I know it's like a knockoff Arc Warlock, but like,
well, so I might have mentioned this a couple weeks back when we did the episode, but somebody in like I had seen a post somewhere where somebody was like, this is like a redone Nokris. Like,
I mean, yeah,
like they kind of took that structure and made it into like a beefier boss. Like
but Nokris was Hive.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know what this guy leans into.
Right.
It's the shape of the robe and the movement.
Yeah.
Look at the movement.
If you look at the movement, if you look at like the attack, it's similar. And so like,
I guess I can see it.
Yeah. Once you have those bones, you can build a new house with it. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I was looking.
Dredgen Seer is unique though. It's definitely unique.
Absolutely.
He didn't feel personally like Nokris.
No. The shadow mechanic in that final room puts it way beyond like a Nokris knockoff kind of thing. I just mean like they probably used that same skeletal structure, not necessarily the full model. They use that same skeletal structure to highlight that. That would make sense.
I have a lot of opinions on that boss.
It's Navota. It's Dolankaru. It's it's all of these hive wizard type of thing, right? Very similar in like movement and shape and whatnot. But like to be fair, like a lot of the environments, again, I haven't played. They reminded me of like previous environments, but I mean, Bungie is like known to do that, and it's not a bad thing. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying I noticed it. I was like, oh, this reminds me of like, when you're, I don't know what it's called, but the room where you have to go outside, and it's like a circular room. I don't know if you guys remember that. That PvP map.
The hub
I don't remember the name of it. But there was a PvP map that was very similar. You had like the inside of it, but then you had all of the outside. It was like a circular PvP map. I can't remember the name of that. But I was like, oh, this reminds me of that. Again, it's not a bad thing. It was more like, oh yeah, okay, cool. But like looking like from an outsider's perspective, it seemed really interesting, and I've heard nothing but really good things about it.
Yeah.
And
it's a very solid dungeon.
It looks really good. I mean, okay, so I have a question for you guys. Again, I haven't played, so I don't know. My favorite dungeon overall was Warlord. How does it compare to that in like term of enjoyment? Not mechanics or whatever, but like more enjoyment and pacing. Because Warlord to me is like a very good pacing overall. Like it's engaging. It's not too quick. It's not too short. And the fights are very, like, I don't know. I like the fights. There's no fight that I absolutely hate in that dungeon. So,
I mean,
how would you compare it?
I don't hate Equilibrium. I think it starts off pretty strong with like, so you basically have a sparrow race at the beginning, but you have these souped up like falcons that you're tooling around on, and those can shoot those can shoot as well as drive. So you're just collecting taken essence in order to kind of get that shadow power, which
so Scourge
progressively through not really not really no, like this is like you're getting shadow power and that progresses and from like novice to apprentice to master over the course of the entire thing. Like you have to hit certain levels in order to enact certain abilities,
different stuff
with your force push ability. The Taken Sparrow part, that's really fun. While that's going on, you're also fighting behemoths in that center room. So people are like there is the ad density is great. I want to say for all of the encounters. I don't think there's a single time where you really you can catch your breath here and there, but there's constantly ads filing in, which is like a solid thing.
It also doesn't overstay its welcome. Like that first encounter is very high action for like 4 to 5 minutes.
And that section could have taken so much longer had they wanted you to. Like
you could imagine having to do like what I expected.
Great.
You had to do like you do all that. Okay, that's 1 time. Do it again. 2 times. Do it again. 3rd time. They did none of that.
Yeah.
They cut all the fat.
They finally learned after how long?
Well with this encounter.
Yeah.
Probably one of my
let's all remind everyone of Crown first encounter.
Yeah.
Yeah, no Crown first encounter here.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, they learned.
I do want to interject while you guys are all talking about it.
Yeah, sure.
Because I know I haven't given my opinion yet. But we'll come back to that later. It is in my bottom 5 dungeons.
Okay.
Really?
So we can come back to that later, but continue.
Okay.
I just want you guys to know, as all of you guys are all like super excited about it. It's in my bottom 5.
What's funny is this is in my top 5, but I also don't really like Warlord's Ruin.
Oh, interesting. So. Well, I mean, it's a preference thing, right?
Yeah.
But Sami, what's your favorite dungeon then? Like, I just want to kind of get an idea. If you have a favorite dungeon.
I don't have.
You've painfully gone through all of them, so who knows anymore?
I have encounter tier lists. I don't have necessarily a favorite dungeon.
Okay.
I want to say Prophecy or Ghost, but I think that's just for experience sake.
Yeah. So are you
somebody Ghost? You've lived in Ghost for years, so like that.
I've lived in Ghost.
You know.
Are you somebody who enjoys?
It's home to me.
Yeah. Like,
are you somebody who enjoys singles over albums?
Yeah, 100%.
Like that's.
I mean, that's
something big. You know what I mean?
Surprisingly, though, Spire of the Watcher has all of the encounters in Spire of the Watcher cumulatively have a higher tier than any other dungeon.
Yeah. That one's
really?
I don't consider Spire one of my favorite dungeons, but all of the encounters together, it has the most higher tier average. Yeah, the encounters have
like being an electrician?
Tier. But I don't consider Spire one of my favorite dungeons, which is very strange. So
I mean, to be fair, I don't love Spire, but I enjoy it. I understand what you're saying. Like, to me, it's still a good dungeon. I don't particularly like the encounters per se. I don't hate them though, but I don't particularly like them overall, like a lot. But it is like, it's a good dungeon overall. It's a weird thing. Like, to me, you're like, oh, I like the encounters. I'm like, I don't really like the encounters, but I do like the dungeon. It's like the contrary to you. It's very funny. But
you have to take into consideration how I play. So my experience
100%
with the dungeon is going to be very different.
Oh, no, I get that. I fully understand that. But like, for example, Epic Dan, what's your favorite dungeon? Like, I'm genuinely curious right now to see like how they all kind of...
None will ever top Shadow Throne for me. But that's also like, if you didn't play Shadow Throne when it first came out, you'll never understand that. So I always have to preface that with the version that I played originally of Shadow Throne.
No, I remember that.
90% of players that play now didn't experience that. So I've not experienced that high of Shadow Throne in any dungeon still.
It was hard.
I'm kind of like
awful.
biased
It was so hard.
Yeah.
I remember that. I didn't play much back then, but yeah, I remember that.
The not the Into the Light version of Prophecy. The version that we got right before Edge of Fate.
Yeah. I know what
that Prophecy, I think, was like the quintessential Prophecy. Yeah, the Rite of the Nine version of it. Thank you, Kev. That is like the quintessential version of that dungeon to me. And that is probably in my top 1 or 2 dungeons overall. I really
that specific version.
Prophecy is like a top. Like it's really
Prophecy
good.
is solid.
Yes.
Just in general.
Yeah.
I think my issue with some dungeons has always been like I have to look at it in its launch version, its future version.
Yeah.
Because like even though I love Shattered Throne, people that hate it, I totally understand.
Yeah.
Because you can walk into Shattered Throne and be out of there in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So like you won't understand. I hate to be the old man on my porch. So you'll never understand like, you know, when that was what we had, when you had to wait 3 weeks, when you had to like go into the into the dreaming city to like activate like all that stuff, and you didn't know what you were doing. It's just a totally different dungeon now because you can speed run it. You could walk it now and be out of there in 20 minutes.
That
just a totally different experience. The ogre.
Oh
like,
my god!
All that stuff.
I tried to solo it when Revelry was a thing. I don't know if you guys remember that first Revelry, right?
Yeah.
With like the buffs, right? And it was like a solar day back in the day. If you guys also remember that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that ogre fucked me up so bad. I like rage quitted the whole thing. I had like CG coaching me in the background, and I was like, nope, rage quit the thing. That ogre was awful. He was worse than the boss back in the day.
Yeah.
Like in my opinion, the ogre was worse than Dolinkaru, for me at least.
Yeah. The
Dolinkaru is free.
Jacobus mentions Grasp of Avarice. That is like one of my favorite dungeons.
I like Grasp. Grasp is good.
Like the only one that I don't like is like the collar section where you have to pop the collar on the entrance into the boss room.
Yeah,
because that takes forever. Like
that's the only part I don't like.
That's the one part that takes forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's great. My favorite dungeon is the Dungeon Family out of Atlanta. I swear to God. But yeah, man. Yeah, I just like this one. Like, I don't know. It's probably in my top 5 dungeons, just because of the replayability of it. Like the
replayability is up there.
Very quick. The encounters, like when somebody first gets into that Harrow fight, that that is one of the coolest entrances of any boss in the game. Period. Hands down. I don't care.
It really is. You don't expect it.
Yeah. And like, so there's that kind of moment for me.
Yep.
Like when I was playing through it. Like I don't feel like any of the encounters really overstay their welcome.
None of them
do. Today we did the cutthroat combatants thing because Mod was like, this seems like the easiest one for us to do to like try to knock this out for a higher exotic chance.
I haven't done that. I've heard that's rough.
We got all the way through Sayre. We got through to Sayre, and I was like, I hate this. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here anymore. And like we ended up quitting out of it, but it was like,
I heard it's the hardest challenge in all of Destiny history. That's what one person, like, I can't remember what creator. One creator said that was the hardest.
What?
And it was, I don't know who the person was, but apparently it was someone that does in-game content. So they said it was the hardest in-game like challenge that they've done, or like it was rough. And I haven't touched it yet.
Joking when they said that, but no, multiple people have told me it is literally one of the hardest things that they have ever done in the game.
Like when you compel 5, the amount of damage that you have to do on that first chunk is astounding. Like,
if
do you have a specific amount of damage phases you can do, like a 3 thing, like boss?
It's very interesting. How they do damage on the final boss or all of the bosses is very, very different than any of the other dungeons.
Mm-hmm.
Very
it's really,
different.
really unique. But it's, I don't say ruined in Cutthroat, but because of you being, I think, -40 or -50, you do so little damage that it makes it very tough to hit that threshold.
Yeah, you have to be on it to hit that. And
threshold. I've seen most people that clear, they just do the whole chunking thing because, and even with the whole chunking thing, it still is really rough.
Yeah. So like
one thing, Eseipha, that you need to, that's different is that they have thresholds.
Yes, but you kind of control. You kind of control where that goes, though. Like at least with Ser. So
they have final stands. Like there's a final stand for the second.
Such
the
a unique thing.
Very,
the bosses.
very different.
Yeah.
And they're different from each other.
So how that works, Ser, or how that works, Eseipha, is that like Ser, like you have our realm version of him, and then what he's trying to do in the dungeon is to create a throne world, and so you're constantly pulled back and forth between those two. And there's like the plinth in the middle, and that has five stocks on it, essentially. And once you knock those out, those give you a little bit more time in that realm, but they also denote which realm you're going to stay in if you knock out all 5. So what we were trying to do today was we were in the shadow realm. You can do one of 2 things to the shadows of Ser. That kind of fly around, and they can do attack much like Ser does. You can either compel them, and that makes them docile, or you can kill them. And if you compel them, it makes the threshold shorter, like it's a smaller threshold with each one that you compel. And if you kill them, it expands that threshold. So you can.
It also changes how long your damage phase is, depending on which one you do.
So you can kind of control how much DPS you want to do in one go. It's just you have to be prepared to do that damage, because if you don't, when you're in our realm, then these canisters fall from the ceiling, and it's just electricity everywhere. And I think you saw probably a lot of that while we were doing that version. The Cutthroat version was we just weren't rough. Chunking, and it hit, and so that was difficult.
So you have thresholds, but you can quote unquote set those thresholds.
Yeah. So you can compel 2 and then kill 3, or like you can mix and match. How you compel.
It all depends on your team and how much damage you can do. So you have like the 30-second window. But the moment you kill one, so like the threshold is like a third. Just take it for a third. You have a third. You have 30 seconds to do a third of his health bar. You kill one, that threshold becomes, you can do half of his health. But now you have 25 seconds.
Yeah.
And it just keeps changing. Like the higher damage threshold, the less time you have to do that, until it's like you have 10 seconds to do all of the health bar. Right. That's basically what it is. So it really comes down to like, if Dan's team was like, we are doing so much damage, we don't need to compel any, because we might as well kill them all or kill X amount of them, because we're going to do that damage anyway. And we hit that threshold in 5 seconds. We might as well kill them because we can do more damage in the 15 seconds we had. It just really depends on your team. So it's nice, because if Dan's team is doing so much damage that when you hit that threshold, whatever time you have is removed from you. So if we went into the dungeon and we had 30 seconds to damage, and we hit that threshold in 10 seconds, all of a sudden the timer is changed from 20 to 2 seconds. So you get like a few extra seconds of damage. Well, you can change that by killing more of them, and then we can hit that threshold again, but we'll do so much damage it doesn't matter. That's basically what's happening. So imagine that, but -40.
Yeah.
That's rough.
That was rough.
Okay, so for it, because I was wondering this. So if I compel all of them, I know that I have the opportunity to do. I have a longer amount of time to do damage.
Yes.
Is it always damage up until a third?
It's always
Am I
damage up to that
maxed out?
threshold. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
It's like
there's
a
never a
fifth, I
time
wanna
I'd be
say,
able
right?
to do more.
It's like a fifth. It's like it
Oh,
shows
I'm
you
talking about
that
regular, not the
Yeah.
cutthroat, the regular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a fifth. I want to say in cutthroat that is a little bit bigger. When you compel all five, like the chunk
does
is
it just feel bigger?
No, it is a significant more of chunk of the bar.
Oh, I think it's because from what I read in cutthroat version, he has like 10 times as much health.
Yeah,
Something like that.
It's nuts. Like it was.
I think it's more than a fifth because I was able to get there to damage like final stand after 4 phases.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a third. No, it's like a third. You go down to like I think your picture is like what it
not
normally
just for
is.
Harrow. That's for Harrow, the picture I sent. But for the final boss.
Right.
No, I'm just using that picture as an example.
Oh yeah,
like you that amount is kind of a little bit more than that is kind of like what Dredgen Series normal, no cutthroat damage expectation is if you compel everyone.
Okay, so you can't one phase.
Oh, you can.
You can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
I have one phase.
It does stop you. It does stop you. Or it doesn't stop you. Okay.
Right. You just have to be putting out a lot of damage.
You have to put out a lot of damage because the problem is the moment you hit that threshold, you only have 2 seconds.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's why it always because I was like, why does it seem like it always stops me?
It always stops.
So
if you're doing damage and you had
it doesn't stop me at a third, it just stops the amount of time.
The moment that threshold has been reached, your time is removed and replaced with a 2.5 second timer.
Okay, hold on. Let me just get this in my brain to confirm it with you guys. So when I compel all of them, I get a certain amount of time or whatever.
You get 30 seconds.
I get 30 seconds. If I hit the third or the threshold in 10 seconds, I don't get the full 30. I get the 10 seconds plus.
You get basically 13 seconds. You get the 10 seconds it took.
That makes a lot more sense.
So if you're hitting that threshold, you need to kill 1 or 2.
So much more sense.
Killing 1 will give you a little less than half. Killing 2 gives you a little over half. But it only gives you 20 seconds.
So if I'm taking a third of the time that I would otherwise get to do that amount of damage, I don't need to continue compelling all of them.
Nope.
Right.
Oh, and maybe I don't. Maybe I won't hate it as much as I hate it.
And you can compel and kill like in different variations from stage to stage. So say you did like a full third of that, but you feel like you could have gotten like 2/2 or something like that with that DPS. If you want to like say kill one more,
1 is common.
Yeah, kill 1 more on your next run. You're more than welcome to, because you don't have to stick to the same strategy with the compelled versus kill recipe.
Yep. All you need to care about is when you end damage phase. Because I had to do this for my own solos and stuff. Whatever damage you are doing, the only thing you care about is when damage is done, do you have lightning?
Yeah.
That's it. If you have lightning at the end of damage, then you need to compel more stuff. If you're getting through damage and it wasn't 30 seconds, and you also didn't get lightning, then you should kill. Then you should kill 1 at least. Test that out. Compel 4, kill 1. Do it again. If you are still doing it in significantly less time and also no lightning, kill 2, compel 3. And then you just find your comfortable level of like, I can comfortably do this every time.
I might not hate this dungeon as much as
we'll check back
it's
next
nice
week.
because you get to you can control your damage phase. Unlike other dungeons, like with Sunder Doctrine, with Vesper, all the other ones, you have to do whatever the game forces you to do.
Yeah.
This dungeon allows you to control how long you have to do a damage phase and how many phases you have to do based off of how skilled you are. And that's what I really enjoy about it. Because I've done a lot of rounds with different players, and I can tell off of the first damage phase, okay, we didn't need to compel everyone. So then I'll just kill everyone. And then we have 10 seconds to do 90% of the self-fire. Doesn't matter, we did 95. Or, okay, we need every compel. We need the whole 30 seconds. We'll do 30. Okay, we'll do 3 phases. You get to control what your soul is going to look like.
Can I take a couple minutes to just totally word vomit out?
I've spent a lot of time in this dungeon. I can answer all your questions. I was so confused.
Well, I'll be honest. My questions. I just have a lot to say about the dungeon.
Go ahead.
Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it. To me, like, this was all gibberish. I'll be honest. Like, I'm gonna need to like be.
It's gibberish until you see the dungeon.
No. Like, to be fair, you're both explaining it really well, but like, I cannot.
When you're in there, it'll.
Exactly.
When you're in there, it'll be different.
In there, exactly. Yeah, for sure. Go ahead, Sami. So go ahead.
First, let me preface this for anyone who doesn't know. All of my dungeons, I go in day 1. I want my first clear asterisk 2 other dungeons. Anyways, ignore that. But I want my first clear to be solo. I do all bow, solo all bow, no artifact, spoiler free, and there's something else. Eventually I do it so much that I end up, once I learn the mechanics, I end up doing it no HUD for my first completion of each encounter. And then I sometimes end up doing it flawlessly, but that's a different story. So that's my whole thing is I want my first clear, and it has to be one run. It can't be a checkpoint. Right. So basically my first clear will always be solo, all bow, no HUD, no artifact, originally spoiler free. So that's the overall goal. I'm crazy, I know. So going in with this dungeon, it was completely confusing. I'm all over the place emotionally with this, because I was like, first day, this is too easy. I'm going to be so upset and so sad because I am figuring this out so fast. Like, I figured the mechanics out so easy for the first 2 encounters. I was like, the second encounter is just a slog, whatever. But I was upset because normally it takes me forever. Like, I wouldn't finish the first encounter in 7 hours, 5 to 7 hours. But I did. I finished it in under 5 hours. And I'm like, what the heck is with this? And I did significantly fewer damage phases. I'm used to, with my all bow loadout, doing like at least 7 to 8 damage phases. And I'm over here getting to final stand in 4. So I was really upset. And then I get to the final boss and I am like, this is fucking impossible. What the hell am I supposed to do here? I am eating my words. Because I couldn't figure out the lightning. But the thing is that I was hitting the boss, but in order to stop the lightning, you have to actually hit the hands. Levy's breath, the concussive blast doesn't do anything. You have to legitimately hit the hands with Leviathan's breath, or a fully drawn Wishender. That's a different story. But you have to actually hit it, and the the hitbox for those hands is tiny.
Yep.
So you have to actually be aiming for the hands. Someone spoiled it in chat for me, but what is difficult for me is this is by far the hardest dungeon to do without HUD, and the hardest dungeon to do with all bows. Main reason with the all bow thing is that with the final boss for the lightning, the only thing that'll break the hands in one hit is a fully extended Wishender shot. Otherwise, it's 3 hits for a legendary bow, 1 hit for Leviathan's breath, but you have to take into account then, okay, I have to use all my heavy for that and draw time. So it's a pain in the ass. The thing is that, so what I use is Wishender and a crossbow. I have that figured out pretty well, the build, but survivability is rough. what bothers me so much is that it is such a slog. It is so boring for the final boss to go in and compel. It is just so boring that I was making dumb mistakes because I was getting bored. I absolutely hated it. And then I would get to damage and it was like, okay, I just keep dying. How am I supposed to do this? Well, I figured out spawn mechanics today. Anyways, the thing that is so confusing to me is that it is such a simple dungeon and I wasn't expecting it. I was not expecting how simple it was. I was not expecting how few damage phases it was, but I also wasn't expecting how hard it was in the ways that it was. Right.
Yeah. I
don't like Wish Ender only in that the draw time is so long. Right. I'm not playing the play style that I do. And I feel like in the final encounter, it's just, I'm there just doing the motions. To go in and compel and go back and forth, this and that. Invis doesn't make hands go away. Nothing does. You can't like dodge out of it. You can't hide behind something. Nope. You're just stuck there.
He sees you when you're sleeping. He sees when you're awake.
Crazy.
Does he shoot through stuff?
Yes.
Once he tracks onto you, it doesn't
away.
matter. The only way it stops is when you get teleported out. And the most annoying thing for me, which Sami has probably noticed, is initially he has a ramp up in damage. So when he first starts tickling you, which is just what we've been calling it, he just tickles you, it's okay. But the longer he tickles you, the more damage it will do until it basically will one-shot you.
Yeah,
because it's forcing you to have to interact with it.
Right away, you can't die or you can't survive long enough to actually get to the other realm. You just die.
Yep.
Okay. So when I couldn't figure out the lightning, I just kept dying over and over and over again. So I'm like, the entire dungeon is relatively simple up until here, and then there's the final boss, and then the final boss is so boring because you think you have to compel all of them. So it's just really confusing because you have a lot more options. The bosses aren't as tanky. The mechanics for the bosses to get to them are more customizable than anything. There's final stands. You have choice, and that's confusing for me. And I'm just confused by this. And I don't understand my feelings. And I haven't gotten the clear because I was so bored in the stupid final encounter. And it's probably my least favorite encounter out of all of them. But now maybe it's not because they actually have more options. And I don't know how I feel about this stupid fucking dungeon. And I'm so confused. And I just want it done. But now it's like.
It is a change at pace because the game had been pushing us into a very specific, well, this encounter, you have to do this. This encounter, you have to do this. This encounter, you have to do this because anything else is just your throwing. So it is a valid complaint that for probably the last 2 years has been every encounter has a very niche, specific loadout. And now this one is like, you can attack all of these things however you like.
Open it wide up. Yeah.
Known.
I think Sami needs a minute. You need to sit in the dungeon and like go through your feelings, I think.
Yeah.
Well, it's been such a ride because I'm not expecting to be in an encounter for under like half an hour. And here I am getting to like a final stand. But then the final boss, I'm like, this is the most boring encounter ever. I am more entertained doing the opening encounter to Ghost of the Deep than I am this freaking encounter.
Yep.
But now knowing that like once you figure out that you can decide what the threshold really is and like what that is and what you can do and what it's not as much of a slog because you can just go in and I'm just confused now. I just don't know what I want.
My team generally, when you get teleported into the Shadow Realm, that is typically the very first one that you see is usually the very first one that we kill.
Yep, kill him instantly.
Get him out of there, because when you go back, there's a pool as soon as you get into the Shadow Realm there.
Yep.
Like right next to your entrance once he's dead. And you don't have to deal with this threat so much. Like it's way easier. So even if you compelled 4 and killed 1, like that would probably make some things a little bit easier for you.
Yeah. Also, getting out of the real place as quickly as you can helps a lot. Like my rule of thumb personally is the moment the encounter starts, I do whatever I have to, and whether it's solo or in teams, I do whatever I have to get Shadow Master before I get teleported. Because it makes everything go by super fast. I'll kill anything I have to, get as many pools, kill at least one of the guys. If I don't leave with Shadow Master, this is going to take so much longer. Because if I have Shadow Master already, I can teleport into the Taken Realm, kill the one guy, that'll refresh my buff, go ahead and either hold it. Generally, I'll hold it depending on where the enemies are, because the snooze fest to me has always been the Taken Realm finding where the 3 people are. Just because they are all just hiding. So if I can find out where they are, I'll then go back and get teleported into the other area, and then you'll just spawn camp the shielded red guy. Spawn camp him, spawn camp him, spawn camp him, and then shoot the little blights, which will obviously give you more time in that room. Getting rid of those 5-6 blights to where you can just be in the other realm and then decide when you want to start DPS because you're not getting, juggled back and forth makes that significantly faster.
It's weird to me that this whole dungeon is just confusing right now. I figured out something about the final boss today. That I'm like, I want to get back in there right now because I have a better idea of what I'm going to do. But
that's fair. Yeah.
It's been a whole almost month of this. It's just insane. Right. But it's weird and it's a breath of fresh air to be able to customize what you're going to do. And I can imagine in a fire team, this must just feel so good to run.
Yeah.
Because they make it to where you can just keep going. And that's so confusing that in the second encounter, the entire time through, I keep thinking I'm forgetting something because of how fluid it is.
Yeah.
The second encounter, you can basically go around and just keep activating the switch, go to damage, activate the switches, go to damage. Like, I can do that. I can get to damage faster than my super will charge if I want to.
Yeah.
So I feel like I keep missing something because I don't have to stop and wait.
Yep. There's none of that in this dungeon, really.
Yeah.
However, I will say you have to wait for the doors to open in the second encounter. Huge pet peeve of mine.
Have you been killed by that door yet?
Oh boy.
Yes.
Yeah, ruined my solo flawless. Yes, no.
And I wish that you could force yourself back into the real world from the Shadow Realm. Those are the only two.
Besides the timer?
Yeah, besides the timer. Yeah. I wish that you could go into the Shadow Realm and then just come right back. And I wish that you could activate the doors somehow. Because fuck those doors. But guys, after our conversation here, I'm just really confused where I'm at.
I think you need to go back in and do it again, and that will help kind of make you figure it out. And I think I could be wrong, but I really think that's what you need right now.
Yeah.
Honestly, not knowing that probably makes that significantly more difficult anyway. Yeah. Like if I didn't know, if I was working on solo flawless and I didn't know that I had the ability to
change
how my damage was going to look and how safe my damage was going to be, that dungeon boss probably would have been worse for me. I don't blame you.
It's so hard with bows, but
can't even.
I guess the thing is I didn't expect to do as much damage as I'm doing. So I had to compel all of them, and compelling all of them is just so boring.
That's a lot of time. especially when you have to.
And that's why. Yeah. And now I'm guys. This podcast tonight has just been continue on without me.
Sorry, buddy. And that's not even to speak to like the whole the secret boss for the dungeon.
Oh God.
Secret boss isn't nearly as bad.
No, that one.
The only issue I would say that if you ever decide to do that is
the time.
Yeah.
That one has a time. It has a pretty rough time if you don't know what you're already doing.
Yeah.
You can make it have a lot of time, but your first time through, you're probably going to be fighting against that 2-3 minute timer.
So
that dungeon boss reminds me, or the secret boss reminds me of the secret boss from Pit of Heresy. I don't know if you felt that way. Reminded me just like that one. I don't know if that's what they were going for.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I could see that. Like, I mean, like other than that, it's the same kind of variety, but
it's the same guy.
yeah, it's the same guy. It's his cousin Clark.
Yeah.
We're
just ruining the entire Hive lineage.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I just wanna say this real quick. It has started raining here like very heavily and like thunderstorming. So if it goes out, I will be back. just to let you know. But with all that said, Sammy, I know that you wanted to talk a little bit about Heirloom.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I got distracted with my "woe is me."
I have yet to.
she's already in the dungeon.
Yeah.
We should have.
Yeah, I am in the dungeon right now.
Dungeon. Yeah.
I have yet to get it. I've seen diagrams of where you put the stock in your mouth in order to see through the binoculars on the top of the gun. But that's pretty much it. That's all that I've seen online.
I'm so confused.
Sammy will have to preface this with the information that she gave us earlier. Though.
Yeah.
So I had early access to this. I went to the capture event. Got to play around with it. I got to give a little bit of feedback on it before it went into release. So I'm a little defensive here. But also, one thing is that I don't think people know how to use it, or not how to use it mechanically, but I don't think people know what to use it for and how to use it in combat. And a lot of people are like, this is a really bad weapon. It's just a bad exotic. You can't do anything with it. And then they'll throw it in their vault or just dismantle it. And it's like, okay, whatever. People are trying to use it as a sniper rifle. They're trying to use it just to quick shoot things. But it is not like any other weapon in the game. If anything, the closest thing that it is similar to is a linear fusion rifle with a long charge up. And that is just borderline. You cannot use it as a sniper rifle. It's not going to do the damage. You cannot use it as a regular crossbow. It will not do the damage, and it is not as long as a crossbow would be, a typical heavy legendary one. It's basically a fusion rifle light in a way, but the longer that you charge it up, the more damage it actually will do. And it is very niche, but when you use it against champions, unstops, it is like probably one of, well, I'm biased on this, but I can foresee it being probably one of best in class specifically for that reason. But a lot of people I don't think know how to use it, and they're writing it off, or they're trying to compare it to something else in game. And people just, it is not like anything else in game. You will not use it like anything else in game. So it frustrates me that people are judging it without giving it a chance and really exploring with it. There's a lot of assumptions. And it could use some tuning. I haven't played with it in the live game. I can see that it could use some tuning, but at the same time, I think people just don't know how to use it yet.
Mm-hmm. That's the biggest thing for me, and I got it from doing the contest. When I've used it, I've gotten a catalyst, and for me, the issue I've come across is I haven't figured out when I would want to use it for it to be worth my exotic yet.
That's the only thing. It is not DPS. People are saying it's a bad DPS. Do not use it for DPS. You won't get anywhere. There are other ad clear options that are better. But for majors, ultras, champs, that is your go-to. That is what you want to use it for. And it is very specific. GMs, awesome. It is fantastic. If you're going into something that's champ heavy or ultra heavy, awesome. If you're using it against those rapid fire shields, which people totally don't even understand the rapid fire shields anyways, you're not going to get anything against those rapid fire shields. That's total shit too. But if you're using it against those major ultra, major ultra champs, you're going to get a lot out of it. But people are like, there's not a lot right now, I think, that you would go in and use it for.
Yeah, that's my issue with it right now. Is like, I see the potential, but I'm like, most of the content in the game right now, and maybe I haven't done my GMs yet to see, so maybe that's where I'll take it. But like most of the content, there are just other exotics that fill the necessary needs right now.
110%.
So I don't know, like if it just needs like I don't know if it needs a couple of tuning with like say the ADS charge, because when you ADS on it and you don't fire it for like 2 seconds, it has a meter that charges up, then it has a really big shot. I don't know if they need to lower that or they need to do some other stuff to make it more like worth being in scope mode.
Mm-hmm.
Cause that's like, I'm like, okay, when am I going to sit in scope mode or ADS mode for a second and a half to fully charge it, unless I was in somewhere where I was like super far away and I need to quote unquote snipe or something. So I do wonder where it's going to end up being
confused, because you have to ADS.
And you have to ADS for a very long time.
It's one of those things where people are like, okay, so it's a sniper. It's not a sniper. It's not close to it. But I think it's the fact that you have to do the action similar to a sniper that people get that idea.
Yeah, that's valid.
But, and I think that's where it is. People think that it's an people think that it should be a DPS weapon. It's not. If you're taking it to DPS, I'm sorry, you are 110% wrong. That is a bad decision. Do not use that for DPS. If you think it's going to act like a sniper, I'm sorry, you're wrong. That's just not the call. It's just the actions and where people think that it will work right now or it should work just aren't lining up. It's not a bad weapon. It's just that it is not lining up where people think it should line up. And I think that's confusing.
I will say that I've been telling people that they still need to get it and still need to get like the catalyst and stuff, because I personally feel the same way about the crossbow as I do about Finality's Augur. Because at first, when I got Finality's Augur, I saw the turret and I was like, I don't really see me ever using this and like, I don't see it being worth my exotic slot. And now, with a couple of buffs and the way the meta has shifted and how we have now leaned into this rocket pulse meta, it makes perfect sense for that weapon to be in your slot, in your arsenal, more of a priority. So I do see that there could be an era where the combat bow of heirloom becomes like a best in slot because of whatever we're doing. It just may not be right now.
GMs. I think it'll 110% shine in GMs. And I don't think people notice the difference between the different 3 levels of charging because it's so gradual. People are like, okay, it's going to gradually go up in damage. So I might not have to wait the full time to get almost as much damage. it's a massive amount of damage. It is huge. On Grandmaster difficulty, you can take out a champ in about 2 shots. You just have to wait for the charge. So I will fight to the death for that. And
That's
I
fair.
hate special ammo. I hate it. I actually even have a clip of me saying from 2 years ago, if I will stop playing Destiny if bows become special ammo. But I eat my words 110% on that because this weapon, if used correctly, I am actually making builds to use a special ammo weapon. And that's a big fucking deal. So, that's my opinion. I appreciate what you're saying, though, Epic Dan.
It's also tough because it also came out with the lightsaber, and it's like,
it really did.
It's way overshadowed.
it's overshadowed by that as well. So it's like,
how is the lightsaber?
The lightsaber does everything.
It's so good.
Does everything.
They're gonna have to nerf it into
when
the
you were
ground.
talking about the when you were talking about the champions, it's not a thing. I understand the heirloom's probably best in slot for the champions, but the lightsaber also just cooks champions.
Yeah,
it's just
so
such
why
a.
would we even use it?
It's like
right.
So maybe after, I don't think they'll nerf it, but I do think it won't be as strong after we don't have the artifact effects. But it doesn't matter because all of the
I forgot about the artifact.
All of the exotic cores you get, like the impact core, gyro core, all those things just already make it best in slot. So even when we don't have power preservation and we don't have the sword, the mega bunk mod, once we don't have those, it won't be as good, but like it's still gonna be stupid strong.
I think heirloom's really gonna shine once we have solar specific.
I can see that. Season. Like a solar specific artifact.
A solar season, I think it's really going to shine, especially if we have anything that has to do with Scorch. Massive.
Yeah.
Look at me fighting for a special weapon.
Look at you. Look at you.
We grow.
Well, folks, I think it's a pretty good time to hop into some audience questions. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Perfect. We'll kick it off with our friend Subsistence Sasquatch. Now that we only have a major update left, what do you think of the cadence of content this year of 2 annual expansions versus 1 annual expansion in seasons?
Are the 2 going to be like Renegades?
So Edge of Fate and Renegades are like being this year. If the quality... Like I saw somebody earlier in chat comment that Renegades felt like the 30th anniversary, which is
I can see
kind of where I'm at.
I can see
that. Yeah. Which I don't mind 30th. I don't mind 30th anniversary. 30th anniversary is one of my favorite drops. I don't know. I know it's not an expansion, but it's like that and Into the Light are 2 of my favorite non-expansion drops. So if they are willing to still maybe not give us big drops, but give us that quality a couple times a year, I'm okay with that.
I think that's what we're all wanting, to be fair. Like,
and we talked about
quality back.
We talked about this a little bit. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, okay. It's interesting because they had said, I believe, the first expansion was going to be lighter because it's going to be they're focusing on core game, so Portal. So I don't know if we really have a good gauge of what a first year expansion is supposed to be.
Yeah. Like, they had so many changes kind of drop at once. I actually felt like the amount of content in the story campaign of Edge of Fate was good. I liked the story of Edge of Fate too. The Portal overall was my main sticking point.
Most people's,
I still think it's crazy that we don't at least get 1 strike or like something like that.
The days of strikes, like I saw a lot of big creators going back and forth about strikes versus Lawless Frontier. And it's a weird argument, but like I feel like the days of us getting strikes are gone, unfortunately. Which sucks.
Just thinking of like the Grandmaster node that they added into the Vanguard alerts, like I would want to see some new stuff come with that. That's yeah. I like that would mean a lot, I think, to people that enjoy that playlist. I think.
How did you guys feel about like Battlegrounds becoming?
I hated them. I know some people like
becoming like GMs.
I hate that.
I never liked Battlegrounds, but like, yeah, I know some people. I got a lot of pushback because I was saying Battlegrounds are not the way. I prefer the unique places you go in strikes and the unique story you're telling. And I never enjoyed Battlegrounds how they limit the pacing of the content because you do a lot of just let's hold down this fort and capture this. Let's toss a bunch of stuff into this thing. Let's hold down this versus you're moving through content, you're doing sections and you're doing some capture a little bit, but you're doing some action, a boss and all that. I enjoyed that cadence, but
like there are
I don't really enjoy the cadence of Battlegrounds like I did a normal traditional strike.
It speaks to a design ethos where things go away permanently, like Battlegrounds and things like that. Whereas like Lawless Frontier, like ostensibly is going to be here forever. Like as it like at least for the life of the game, hopefully, if they don't go vaulting anything. Like what was the activity with Edge of Fate? Where you went into the EDZ. Or not the EDZ. You went to the you know what I'm talking about. We went to
the Plague Lands.
Reclaim.
Yeah,
Reclaim.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
We got Reclaim.
Ash and Iron.
Reclaim is its own thing. Like
is Reclaim still in the game?
Yeah. Like you have access to it through the portal. At least.
So it's a part of the portal
again.
Right.
Oh,
so
buddy.
No, yeah, like that's the thing, man. I hated Reclaim, so it goes. But the like, I think I with Renegades, I might be glad that there's fewer missions in there to kind of like do the Star Warsness of it all. Because I have a feeling that could overstay its welcome very easily.
You think they did a good balance of it?
Yeah.
They did a good balance, yeah.
Yeah. But in a campaign, I want a little bit more. So.
But what if they brought back old strikes, though?
Though I don't want any more old strikes.
Yeah.
And I only say that because they can't bring the old strikes back like we want it, like we remember. Because we would walk in there with one Galahorn shot and nuke everything. It's just at this point, like
bring back old ones and rework. Some of them were awful reworks,
and all of them suck.
No, there was one that was not bad, right?
Which one?
I can't remember.
All the ones that they brought back after a couple years were not really enjoyable because they made us have to slow the pacing so much that you're like, man.
Dan's out here asking you for citations.
No, I just can't remember the name of it.
Cite your sources, please.
Here's the thing, though. I will argue they brought it back, but it's not quite the same thing. I will argue for me again, it's me, but freaking Disgraced, literally the Cosmic Navoda and Saber to me, and to be fair, they brought it back from D1, so that might be different.
That was definitely different.
They're fun. I thought that like those ones to me, like they're some of my favorite strikes currently in the game.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's like a total. That's like imagine the Nokris strike.
Yeah,
and how short it is. That's a really short strike. I remember doing it in 4 minutes.
No, it is a very short strike.
So like how do you bring that back and not like hard cap where in each room you're having to like escort something or like capture something for 5 minutes.
Okay, I agree with you on that because to be fair, Bungie heavily relies on like escorting stuff and stuff like that. I hate that shit. Get a different mechanic, please, for the love of God. But
they do Savathun's song.
I would love to see Savathun's song back.
That one was cool.
See?
I don't know how they. But see, I don't know how they extend that strikeout because it already has the
short,
segmented. Yeah. It's already short. It already has like the final boss is already segmented. So unless they change it to where somewhere in the first half of it isn't just you running through it with the utilities that we have now. I just don't see it being a long strike. And maybe they don't want that philosophy in their strikes anymore. If they don't want their philosophy being a 15 to 20 minute experience, bring all these strikes back because I think that'd be great.
But so
to me, it's a filler type of thing, right? It's like I don't understand this. Maybe I'm wrong, and that's fine. But like this idea that a strike needs to be half an hour, why? Like I'm exaggerating. Why are they so long?
What I would like to see,
they don't need to be long.
If in a perfect world, what I would like to see is the return to like you have DLC missions, and then like a strike is somewhere in the thread of that story, and then like the triumph over whatever villain or like the wrap up being maybe 1 or 2 missions after that. That way you like those strikes were typically these big crescendos in the story.
I was just thinking they used to be. They were story missions more so than strikes.
Yeah, they were.
But now our story missions are like super long.
Yeah. So like
that's the thing though. It feels like everything is super long. Yeah. And it's not and I'm so sorry, but to me it's not like, oh, it's worth it for it to be that long because it brings so much whatever, right? Quality, like whatever it might bring. To me, like that's the thing that I feel like Bungie is trying to pad game time. I'm so sorry, this sounds so bad, but it feels like they're trying to pad game time by making these like extremely long strikes or extremely long story mission. And instead of making it like a very entertaining or very like engaging activity, it's just long for the sake of being long instead of being long, but you don't feel it. Like I'll give an example of a somewhat long. I mean, it's not super long, but like Coil was an activity that could last for quite a while. 2 hours. Like you could go for that for like an hour. You could make it shorter. You could make it very longer. But if you wanted to go to the end of it and get really good rewards, very much up like 40 minutes to an hour. I never felt like I was spending an hour in that activity.
But that's also not a strike. You know what
I mean? I know. But my point was more like, but a story mission is not like a story mission is not a strike technically, right? I'm just bringing the fact of like, why can't we have, again, I can farm Saber and not feel like I'm spending so much time. And okay, granted, Saber is not that long. But my point is more like Disgraced. Again, Novoda, I can farm the heck out of that strike and not feel like I'm like grudgingly going through it because oh my god, they're padding for time. It is an engaging strike. The pacing of that strike, again, Saber, same thing. Their pacing is good, and like it doesn't feel like a grind. It is a grind, but it doesn't feel like a grind when I'm farming those specific strikes. There might be more, but top of my head, these are the two. And I'm like, why can't we go back to this type of content where it's like Disgrace can be fairly long depending on the modifiers. So like, why can't we go back to something like that where the pacing is really interesting? The farming is not grindy per se. Like, can we get that type of content back? I don't mind if it's long. Make it engaging, make it interesting, make it rewarding. I feel like right now it's hitting it's long, but there's nothing else to kind of make it that, fun or not good, but like whatever. I'm going to say good, but I want that kind of content back. Like, why does everything have to be forever?
They don't want that anymore. Well, I wouldn't say they don't want it. I would just say the leads, the people that are actually helming the ship, they just have a different game philosophy.
Yeah.
And you can see that from Edge of Fate to now. They just have a totally different game philosophy on how they want their players to engage with content.
I've got a question for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Have all of the strikes that we've gotten been part of a story, or have we gotten any strikes?
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Not all of them. There was one that popped up like with Final Shape. Remember when they were like, "This is the longest strike GM strike we've ever had," like that kind of thing.
What was the point? I still haven't done that. Side note: the GM strike, the big one, that 12
the big
people,
GM strike.
Was it that one?
Or no,
Excision.
not that one. That like Excision, yeah, but no, there was one.
They're talking about, is that not Liminality?
Yeah, Liminality was the one that they were talking about.
No. It's long for the sake of being long, and there's no point to that.
Well, there were also set pieces in that were a little bit.
It doesn't feel long though. It doesn't feel long at all.
You
didn't get that strike done in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I guess what I like with strikes, the set pieces I think were the important bit for me.
Yeah.
Of like the arenas being interesting to fight in. With like as opposed to like maybe in some story missions you didn't have that interesting of an arena to like necessarily like slog through. But Ethan Smeathan said something a little bit earlier that I think like probably takes the cake here, and it's like I would so much rather have new loot and revamped raids, etc., than old strikes. Which at
this point,
what? At this point, 100% agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The old raids to me like hold a special place in my heart, and I would love to have them back. Even if they ramp up a little bit of the difficulty to a certain extent, I wouldn't mind that. Like, the thing is, I'm afraid of is that sometimes she is like, oh, we're going to bring this back. Cool. Great. Amazing. Yay. And then they're like, oh, we're going to spice it up. Okay. But like, is it going to make sense?
They kind of have to though at this point.
No, I don't mind it. What I hate is when they change it and they kind of denature like the basics of what it used to be. Like,
their reasoning is valid, but also not valid, because they always say when they do that, they want to make it new for players that played it back then.
Mm.
And some people probably like yourself are like, I don't want that, right? I just want the one that I had.
Exactly. I just want the thing back.
Some people I've seen that happen with Whisper. Some people were like, I wish they had the old version of Whisper, not the new one. I wish I had the old 0 hour.
Well,
it's like,
weirdly enough,
I get it.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Weirdly enough, Whisper is one of the things that they brought back with changes where I don't mind the changes as much. I think that they struck like a fairly good balance of keeping what was already there and keeping things that were already working, and then adding a little bit more of difficulty, like especially the boss fight. Like it was very different back in the day. I don't mind that. I get why they also meant like they made the green room more accessible overall for people. I get that. Like, sure. And then the timer is longer. That's fine. I have more issues with 0 hour changes, and not even the boss fight changes. I have more issue with 0 hour in the whole traversals than I have like with the boss. The boss is quote unquote whatever.
They didn't change anything for the traversal.
They put the freaking shanks in there.
Yeah.
What shanks?
The explodey shanks.
In 0 hour?
You had that before. Yeah.
I think our lives would be better if Shanks just didn't explode. I feel like our lives would be so much better.
I could have swore the old version had exploder Shanks. Because I'm pretty sure they
did.
Yeah.
Well, it had some, but not in all of it. There's a bunch of places where they added Shanks that were not there before at all.
I've done that strike about 1,000 times, and it feels exactly the same.
Nuh-uh. There were no Shanks.
Let me go get some footage and compare.
Let's get some videos.
Please, I mean, you know what? If I am wrong, I will absolutely retract. But I know they were not there before. I'm sure of it. They kept Trevor, and they kept Trevor exactly the same, and I'm really happy about that. They kept a bunch of stuff exactly the same. The one thing I'm kind of sad, but I completely understand why they removed it, because fuck that shit again. But I'm still sad that they didn't bring it back, was the puzzle part. Like the whole
you're talking about the clocks.
Yeah, exactly.
That-
I'm kind of
that just
sad.
kinda
I
replaced.
completely get it. Look,
Yeah.
they just
I
replaced
completely
it.
understand why they didn't bring that back, but I'm still sad about it because that was a thing that was really fun. But anyway,
Uh,
but
Talking
no,
about bringing
like,
things back. Question.
yeah.
Wow, this is way past the answering.
Yeah, we've got more questions from
I have
folks
one
to
question.
get to here. So
Okay,
like-
well then, can we have an episode at some point in the new year where we talk about different old activities and what they would look like now? Because I keep hearing Niobe Labs being thrown around.
I would love that.
yeah,
Yes.
I think,
And I'm
honestly,
curious what people think about that and
I don't think it would be
bringing
as
things like
tough
that
anymore.
back.
yeah.
I don't think it would be as
I
tough.
think they could make it though.
Something that I want to try to do in the new year is to have some devs on to actually like talk about that kind of conversation of like what it would take to bring that back. Would it be worth the squeeze? Things
Yeah,
along
fair.
those lines. So that might be something that we do at a later time. I like the idea of talking about like nostalgia stuff, but I would want to do it with somebody who like would be able to give us maybe an answer. if that makes
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Because I keep hearing people saying, wow, this would be a great time to bring Niobe Labs back. And I'm like,
yeah, I don't know,
you
man.
just saying that because you want something else in
Yeah.
game? Do you really
It's their
mean
pet
that?
project. Moving on from there, Tywin asks, do you think the next expansion should be delayed to allow more time for feedback to be implemented into the portal, etc.?
Yes.
I
I'm
don't
so
think-
sorry. I hate the portal
Yeah.
so much. Again, no, but to be fair, here's the thing. I will put a caveat to this. Yes, but if you cannot, which is fair, if you cannot delay or if you cannot put more time for now, that's fine. Give me a god fucking damn rebind. Let me rebind my M key or whatever key anybody uses to the actual world map, destination, whatever you want to call that, so that I can ignore the portal if I don't want to see it.
They're not going to do that.
Give me that, and I will give you time to fix your shit. I know,
They're
but
not going to.
seriously, give me that. Like, I can rebind. No, but that's the freaking thing that pisses me off, too. I can rebind pretty much anything else related to, like, maps and whatever. Like, I can rebind so many things in this game, but you're refusing to give me a rebind that will make me happier and stop my, like, rage at seeing the portal every time I press my M key.
You know what would happen? Anything that's come out in the past 9 months, you wouldn't be able to access.
Yeah.
That's
but
the
I
crazy
could still
part.
see it, but I would need to click on it.
I just
You can't.
think
I just want to know where everything is without having to ask chat because I'm so confused most of the time.
It's
Right,
so
yeah.
confusing.
Yeah.
I don't
hate
know.
Just-
I didn't know where to find Vanguard alerts.
I think by the time
nobody knows.
by the time
We ask for this.
by the time that like this year's content is over, it will have been a year of them getting feedback on the portal.
Yeah.
And whether or not they section off more dev time to improving it, like it's already way better than it was at launch.
Way better.
That said, it's still not my preferred way of doing things.
I hate it.
Like, yeah. Well, and it's like it's a shock to the system. It came at a time with a whole bunch of changes, and not all of those changes were received positively. But
I think it was.
I think that like if they delay, I don't think that it's going to be portal motivated.
No.
The portal's already here. They're going to be tweaking it here and there. But I don't think it's going to be portal motivated if it gets delayed.
Okay, then give me a rebind. That's all I'm asking. I don't think like inserting one more rebind in this game is that difficult.
Yeah.
I think it's a very small quote unquote dev time for an insanely grandiose quality of life, in my opinion. Like just give me a rebind so that I can not have to like see it if I don't want to see it. It's still available. It's still accessible because the world map is still technically accessible, right? It's still there. I just need to press on it. But that's annoying to me. Give me my rebind so that for now, at least, until it gets even better, it is better, fair, but so that it gets even better, I can just put it aside for now. And if I need to access stuff through it, I can still click on it and like whatever.
I just don't think they're going to do that, dude. Like, like
I know,
they've
I
invested
get
so much time and energy
portal
there.
Does not have not the portal. The world map doesn't have any of the content in it from Edge of Fate to now.
Yeah.
So like the problem then is like, if you wanted to access Equilibrium, still, all that stuff, you have to go into the portals like systems.
That's
I will say it is so nice having all the Dawning stuff right there.
Right.
When you open it up.
Yeah,
that is one massive thing for Portal I love.
Yeah.
No,
Dawning
for the events,
is so
it's great.
easy.
But oh my God.
But that's where it stops.
And I get that. But like at the same time, what you're saying, Dan, like, oh, if you don't click on it, then like if you don't have access to it, you don't have access to like a bunch of stuff. And that's fair. I completely agree with that. That's okay. But by the same vein, I also don't have access to some stuff like quickly. I still have access to everything somehow, but I don't have access to some stuff because it's not on a portal. It's not on a portal. Like, I mean, it's the same thing. If I need to go to a destination, I still need to click to the other thing. So it's one way or another, there's still stuff you don't have access to. Straight off
I would
bat,
argue that for me, it seems that what their initial plan was, which people would have hate, they already were going to hate. I expected them to try to phase out the directory. And they were going to have...
No, they mentioned that.
I'm saying like they were going to like fully make it not accessible, and all that stuff is going to be somehow pulled into like the portal systems, which is why anything Edge of Fate and Renegades does not have. Renegades and Edge of Fate is only accessible through portal systems. So the interesting part of that is, I wouldn't be surprised if their initial plans were to slowly get people used to not using the directory or like the director world map, and slowly push people to be accustomed to launching all of that stuff included through the portal. And now that they have reverted that decision, they now have a situation where if you want to do any content Edge of Fate beyond, you have to access it through the system that we already were planning on making and forcing the community to get accustomed to. And now I wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to figure out how they're going to make this work.
Yeah.
You know what?
That's the issue now.
I like that. What's the best way to say this? I didn't notice this until just recently. How much I enjoy having the ability just right there on the tower, or right there on Portal, to just go to the tower. It's like, there's Renegades. I know everything in Renegades is going to be under the Renegades. Everything in Edge of Fate is going to be under the Edge of Fate selection.
That's what I'm saying, yep.
Right under that tower. It would be so much easier to have that, just a list of the expansions going backwards. Because right now, I don't even know where half the stuff is, like how to get to all of the final shape stuff. Or, I mean, to have the actual expansions listed out like that, rather than have to go between Portal and Directory, it's nice to have a visual rather than to still have a visual of a planet or an icon.
Yes.
But having it all listed out would make it so much easier.
And it would
because
make
now I just don't know where to go.
It would make it so much easier for people who are wanting to get into Destiny 2 to like
which
I need this DLC because it has all this like in game. And like especially for us content creators, like when somebody's like, "Hey, like, do I have to buy all this stuff if I want to play this thing?" It's like it would be a quicker reference.
But that's been an issue for Bungie ever since they vaulted stuff.
Their bigger issue is that they listen to the community too many times and they revert their decisions. Like, yes, the disdain around the initial Portal system was terrible. I'm not going to disagree with that. But I also see their vision of what they were trying to do. Because like Sami said, they would have had a system where you basically click the expansion, and then everything tied to that expansion would have been on one screen. Like if I wanted to do that.
This, though.
I wasn't expecting it to be so easy to find. I'm like, where on earth do I go to find all the Edge of Fate stuff? Like, I was really getting flustered. Oh, wait, I actually just click on Edge of Fate, and it's right there. Like, I wasn't expecting it to be that easy.
Here's the thing, though, that happens a lot with Bungie is that the idea on paper is fantastic. The idea on paper is like so great. It's a great idea. There's so many applications, so on and so forth. And like, yes, 100%, we're signing off on that idea on paper. 100%. And that happens many times where we're like, yeah, that makes sense. That's good. That sounds good. Blah, blah, blah. But the execution falls short. And that happens a lot with Bungie. And that's what happened with the Portal. On paper, the Portal, again, what Sami said, right? Adding XYZ in a specific way so that you can find everything easily is fantastic. On paper, again, the idea is great. But the execution is often, and I'm so sorry to say that, but the execution is often just falls short of what was explained or quote unquote, I don't want to say promise, but what was sold. And like,
it would have been tough for them to fully pull that out, though. Like,
that's fair. But I'm just saying, like, if you're like putting aside the whole like directory and like the whole other expansion and whatever, what was explained to us with the Portal, even I was interested. I was like, oh, that seems cool. And then I opened it and I was like, this makes no sense to me. And like the community as a whole was like, what is this, quote unquote? I'm paraphrasing, but it was more like the sentiment was very negative because, again, the idea on paper seemed really interesting and really good, but then the execution of it just fell short of what people expected or wanted or thought it would be. And like that's where I'm pissed off, I guess, is more like, oh, you told me it would be this, but it clearly isn't that. I mean, some of it, yes, but most of it is not quite what you said it would be, or it doesn't feel like what you said it would be. And so it's very negative. I have nothing technically against the Portal. I just don't like how confusing and overwhelming it is, and how in the very beginning it's not it's not user friendly because I've played this game for way too long, and I, as somebody who's played this game for way too long, struggle to find some where some stuff is. I figured out today the freaking tower thing.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's not user friendly to a base that has had this for 7 years. I think possibly for somebody new coming in, like speaking to like Talent's comments in the chat, for somebody new coming in, they probably have a better direction for like, maybe. Oh, this is where I
screen that they're launching now. It makes way more sense to new player.
For a new player. Yeah,
it just it does.
For us who have been playing for a long time, yeah, we're nostalgic for the quest screen. We're also we're also reticent to change, and like it's like just I don't know.
If you're in this community for as long as some of us have been, the community, for as great as they are reactive. They just
100%.
So like, guys, I would agree with that. I'm having a hard time right now because I had this whole thing, about the dungeon, and now I'm all lost in thought in that. Right. But now I'm all lost in thought about the Portal because I kind of like the idea of having it right there and then having like a little scroll list on the left-hand side and scrolling between all the expansions and just being able to select the tower and go there. And if I wanted I actually like that idea, and now I'm confused because it's like I'm saying, wow, I really like the idea of where they could go with the Portal, and I'm just really confused with Destiny at the moment.
Again, it's an execution thing. The idea, the concepts with Bungie's great at concepts. Bungie's great at ideation. I will absolutely give that to Bungie. Bungie is usually great at innovation, quote unquote, but on the ideation side of it, on the conceptualization side of it, when it comes to execution, sometimes they nail it. And when they do nail it, it is fantastic. It's amazing when they nail what they were aiming for. But very often, I'm so sorry. And again, I love Bungie, but like they very often fail on the execution part of their ideas. And it is so frustrating because we know they can nail it sometimes. And when they do, it's amazing. But very often, at least in the last few years for me, they fell short in execution of ideas. And I think this is where, like, that's what you're feeling, Sami. The idea of it is really good. And I agree with it.
But the thing is that that's actually what we're seeing in game now, though. They are executing it right now.
They are executing part of it, but the execution of it is not like nailing what is the full idea of it. Because you're saying
they can't
like,
do it all at one point. I mean,
I agree. I agree with that.
Iteration.
I agree with that.
Is a thing.
Yes,
that happens
100%.
The slow rollout of this change had to work. It's just, I cannot imagine a world where like we had the director, and then Edge of Fate comes out, and then the entire version of their portal system was just thrown on the community.
Yeah,
that would have caused way more backlash.
Than
anything
100%.
else.
Yeah.
So it probably for them made more sense to slowly roll out the system of like this screen, you click that DLC and you have everything accessible there. You click this DLC, you have everything accessible there. But again, Portal came out in a terrible state. So like that part of it,
that's
that part of it is what also people like. If you look at Portal now, you can see the vision of what they wanted.
Yeah,
you
definitely can.
But the community already revolted. They already revolted. So
it was a cold water shock. It was a cold water shock at the beginning of.
They might not even keep it. You know.
Yeah.
I think it was too much, and the execution of it was not quite where it needed to be.
Right.
And it just made like it was also the thing of like a lot of people were feeling like, you know, they were like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go into this new expansion. I don't know if I want to keep going with the game or not. Blah 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 blah. There was like a lot of things. It was a culmination of a lot of things. But
into final shape stuff. Like we saw that all over the place. Yeah, that's
exactly. But like here's the new saga, if you want, like the new chapter of this game, if you want, whatever you want to call that, or the second book of it, if you want, whatever. But like
we're in the second book of this.
I don't know, but I'm just it
feels like 700 pages. Jeez,
we're in the two towers. Okay.
Okay, but
when do we get to
like,
Return
the
King?
So we're starting this new quote unquote chapter, whatever you want to call that, this new storyline, and then not only are we starting something new, but then you're kind of throwing us into this whole this whole different way of accessing stuff in the game. Again, I have nothing against the idea of Portal itself. I seriously don't. I think that if it is executed well, it will be a good thing. But it came out, it was not executed well. Yeah. And that's where that's the crux of the issue is the idea is fantastic. The execution felt extremely short.
So my follow-up question to that is then, when will it be good?
Yeah,
when will it be good?
Question.
Because if like we keep harping on how it came out bad
now. Yeah.
We keep
how are the changes now?
Yeah. Like the changes now are way better than they were. Like
what would it take for the community and yourself like to change their mindset and approval rating of Portal versus June, July?
Yeah.
I'm just curious because you're not the only one that feels this way, but at the same time, like I think a lot of us also feel that it's come a long way, and it definitely needs to come a longer. Like it has a longer way to go, but like
a much longer.
What's that point that you're like, okay, you know what? I'm good with this right now. I'm good. I've already personally hit that, but like I'm curious, like, is there one?
There might. I personally cannot say right now. I think there might be. Like I'm not against the idea of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it is very jarring.
Right.
I will say that it is extremely jarring to go from like a directory and knowing where to find stuff. And again, I completely get the idea of like as a newcomer, like somebody that's never played Destiny before, the directory might be very like confusing and overwhelming. I get that. I fully get that. That's fair. But right now, the portal itself, it is better though. I will say that. I played a little bit today earlier and I managed to find some stuff and kind of click around and figure out some stuff with the help of people kind of telling me this is that, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. But it's still, to me, like, right now we're in a bit of a weird one where, yes, the directory still exists, and yes, the portal is there, and they're not fully both integrated into each other, so you have to access both to be able to do that, to do whatever you want to do. I'm not fully against the portal. It's fine. The idea of it is interesting to me. I think the execution, again, is better now, but still falls short. I cannot tell you when it will be okay with me or I'll be happy with it, but I believe there will be a moment, hopefully at least, that I will be happy with it. But for now, it's still not quite there. It's better. I agree. Again, I didn't play that much, but I managed to find some stuff and figure out some stuff today. That's already much better than last time I played.
Confusing.
Yeah.
It is a little bit overwhelming and I feel like it's more confusing
now because they did add like Vanguard alerts, but they added it in seasonal, which doesn't make much sense to me.
It only makes sense to me because of the Conqueror stuff. That's the only reason I get it. Because it's basically just the Conqueror seal. So I know if I need to deal with my Conqueror seal, I go to the seasonal hub and it's there.
Yeah.
That's the thing with Portal now is I feel like it has gotten more confusing because they have added more to it to help appease the issues of Portal originally. Like, I feel like there's two different things with Portal. I like the direction they're going now with the main Portal screen, but at the same time, I feel like things they added, actually they added to what was already an issue. So then you can't really find things.
Would you rather them not add anything else? Because you know they're going to add stuff in Shadow and Order.
Oh, I think that what they're doing is great as far as like the main portal screen. It's just I can't really find things.
It's menus and menus. That's what we were talking about earlier. It's menus and menus.
I like that you can go to the tower right from Portal. I like that I know where all of the expansion stuff is for this past year. But I like that you can access Dawning right from the Portal screen. I like that you can just access right there, like the 5 different categories. But then there's other things where it's like, okay, how the F do I get into these things? Like, there's things where I just get really confused. Like if they had Vanguard alerts instead of in seasonal under like Fire Team or something, that would make a lot more sense to me than having to go through seasonal, go to another tab.
I think the
I don't know
that would make things more confusing.
I can see why they don't do that because you have the raid and the dungeon stuff. You also have.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
You also have Crucible, like with the Dawning Snowball fight right now.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I was mostly thinking about like Vanguard ops stuff, but but even or have its own
makes
menu.
More sense in Fire Team maybe, but
it just doesn't make sense for it to be under seasonal for me. And then there's other things when you go under seasonal. I'm like, how do I find my conquest? And it's just a little icon. Or when I go under like Dawning, there's like a whole bunch of icons on the side. I just don't know where anything actually is.
Yeah.
I think the layout is not quite there yet, and like how to find.
I like where they're going.
Yeah. I agree. I agree that again, the idea of the portal, I'm really I'm interested, and I'm like, yes, please give me something that will be this idea, but like in game.
Yeah.
But right now, a lot of stuff is extremely confusing. A lot of stuff is unclear as to like what does it do, but like what is this and like how do I access this and so on and so forth. So like I think that's my main issue is that it's like it's still confusing. And I need it to be
maybe
less
I've just
confusing.
played too much now, so it's like become almost second nature for me now.
Yeah, and that's fair and that's okay. Maybe at some point I'll get there too, but for now, it's just unclear as to what I need to click to get to what I want, and I'm just frustrated with that. Let's put it that.
Understood.
I'm excited to see where they go with it. And I think this is the first time I realized I'm actually excited to see where they go with it.
Yeah, I'm not asking for it to be removed.
I'm excited to see where it's at right now. Yeah. It's just confusing as hell.
I would just want it to get better. Please make it better.
All right. Going to our next question. we got 2 more. Cryo Phoenix is saying, with the feat system seeming to be here to stay for dungeon and raid content, what other feat modifiers would you like to see included? That can be a modifier that adds to the feat total, or even a boon modifier that subtracts feat total. So is there anything like that you would like to see to add or benefit the difficulty of feats? Anything in specific?
I don't really know.
Bring back the revelry mod in there.
Yes,
revelry mod.
Same thing, man.
Wait, what?
Just for Seth.
So I was gonna throw it out. I was like,
boom.
Wild idea, but the revelry mods.
That's where you could add little stuff like that.
Revelry
mod. Revelry was Guardian game. Oh, Solstice.
Oh, that was
Guardian. It was one of those events before. It was an April event before we had the April event. But basically, there was these things you would pick up that would charge these like bars or something like that.
It was busted.
And then it would like create like this massive thing. It was kind of like Sprint Booster or like the Arc Amplified thing before Arc Amplified came out. And you could have like all these fun things. It would like increase your melee damage dramatically. And it would give you all these fun effects that only were available for like 2 weeks in April.
They
were fun.
Busted. They were really fun. But like to me, like it's a wild card, but yeah, I agree. I would like to see something like that.
That's the only thing I want to see. There's wild cards and feats.
If there was I
haven't done anything with feats, but I think it would be I'd like to see
Dan
something
has.
where
yes,
he knows feats.
Yep, y'all have seen them.
Like to see something goofy.
Yeah,
I think
goofy.
That's goofy.
Yeah.
Well, I think that it would be fun to.
That's what Jagmaster said. Jagmaster says Daybreak. That'd be another cool one. Stuff like that would be really nice.
Well, we had Wish 11 on the Wish wall that was like Grunt birthday party, right?
Yeah.
Was that wish during last Wish, and that was like it was something that was fun. It didn't give you anything other than like just the like.
Yeah, it was just fun.
Yeah, it was just fun.
It was just fun.
As long as it was handled that way.
Bring back
like,
Big Head.
It didn't, and it didn't.
Whimsy. Bring back the whimsy.
And if it didn't mess around with like your actual rewards, like if you stacked that on and it was like, well, this counts as a 5 feet now.
Exactly.
Then, like, you know what I mean?
Well, kind of in Halo, they have skulls that are worth 0. You just put them on there because it's like, why not?
That's what they are. Yeah. That's where Big Head comes from. That's where, man, that's a lot. Yeah, just do that. Just bring back legendary skulls.
Yeah. Kev in chat talking about the hats from Festival of Lost. That was really fucking fun.
Yeah.
That was cool.
That too.
It was dumb. It was unexpected and very, very fun.
I think that's what we want. It's just like kind of silly stuff or like whimsy stuff or just things like that just made it fun.
Spice things up.
Party game stuff.
Yeah. That's
Give me Mario Party and Destiny 2, damn it.
I think there's a lot of room for silly that could just.
The game is too serious sometimes. We need to have a little whimsical.
Okay, this is gonna be an unpopular one, but maybe just to test it out. Do you guys remember Prestige? Prestige Eater and Prestige. Fuck my life, I cannot remember.
Don't tell me you want to see us have to go cycle between weapons to get ammo.
Well, kind of.
Man.
But no thanks.
But let me finish.
I don't miss that.
It's more of like a choice, right? But if you do that because it is so painful to do, I'll be honest, I agree with that part. Like make it like it's gonna be more rewarding. Like add it to like, oh, if you do this absolute bullshit of a thing, because I remember doing Eater boss with a goddamn freaking sword.
I do too.
That was a thing.
I remember that.
Right? But like it was stupid. And like I think it's more like that thing of like make it kind of stupid but make it rewarding at that point because that was painful 100%. Again,
if they
it's
were
a
to
wild
do that,
idea.
they'd have to make it where you get like a massive damage increase to that weapon when you swap or like something. Like it has to be at least
like that.
But even then I've already done that.
I
don't want to do it
there's
again.
a reason why they didn't do it again.
There's a reason they got rid of them.
Look, it's a wild idea. It's just a thing. It's a thing.
Matt saying
But,
sounds
yeah.
like
Instead, they could do the burn where every 15 seconds it changes burns. That would be something that people would like more.
I mean, yeah, sure.
Yeah, the oscillation modifier, dude. Screw the oscillation modifier.
Nah.
What was that?
Not a
What
fan.
was that?
Not a fan.
What was that? I don't remember that.
You had to cycle back and forth between different weapon types in order to do like.
You couldn't do damage unless you cycled weapons or something like that.
Oscillation on liminality can go chomp a big one. It sucked so bad, dude. I hated it.
No, I think that what I would say is like, oh, you're quote unquote, you're not stuck with specific weapons, but if you use specific weapons, you do more damage. How about something like that? It's like middle line type of thing. You can use whatever weapon you want, but if you use XYZ weapon during that week, you do way more damage. So it's a
Well,
They
that's
kind of
kinda
have
like-
that in the game right
That's
now.
for surges.
They have that. And they have it for
well, not
Surges.
yeah, but it's more like a weapon type and not like a weapon class.
Yeah,
or
overcharge.
class
That's what it
or
is.
whatever.
They have the overcharge, but they also have Foundry Surges, where if you use a specific Foundry, like Cyros or Tex Mechanica, you get a massive damage increase that 1 week for that weapon archetype.
And it's awful.
It
because
isn't massive, but they do that.
never bows.
Never goes.
Hey, they might bring it back then.
They might bring it back now.
You never know.
They're gonna
Right.
buff Heirloom, and then they're gonna make the combat bow, and
Yeah, there you go.
all bows will have like a damage increase for 1 week.
I can't wait until it's bows week. I'm so excited for bows week.
Final question of the night. Mr. Keelan, thoughts on the third-party faction rally, or was that covered last week? So we talked about it a little bit at the beginning of this episode. I was a part of an activation that was a third-party thing called Oath of the Renegades. It took place entirely, like, you played the game, but like it took place on a separate website called oathoftherenegades.com, and you got to track your progress as you did separate tasks that were specifically for that website. I love that idea. I also loved it when it was like there was like a website called D2 Clan Warfare.
That's
back
what
in
I
the
was
day.
thinking.
And
I liked it when it was actually in game. Sorry, creators. This has nothing to do with
but
me not being in it, but it was so fun when it was actually through the companion app and it was like in game. And
yeah, well, so when I was coming up, like when I was a fledgling content creator, and we really were playing more with our clans initially. There was this thing called Destiny 2 Clan Warfare, and you signed up your clan on the website, and based on your size, it would put you into different leagues, right? And then so during the week of Iron Banner, it would be like, oh, you have to get this many kills with pulse rifles, or like this type of ability, things along those lines. And so you would see leaderboards of your clan, like, climbing up against others of a similar size, and within that you would also see the leaderboard of who in your clan was also like racking up points. These sites no longer exist because they were very costly to maintain, and like it was a lot of squeeze for not enough juice on that front. And so unfortunately some of them, like, they went by the wayside, but they were a really fun and nostalgic time for me in Destiny 2. And this event felt like that to me. Like it felt like the first time in a while. It was like seeing an old friend a little bit. You're like, oh, hey, this is
I
like,
love
this is
that.
rad. And
That's
so
lovely.
yeah, I thought the event was like really well managed. I kind of wish. So the first day, like you could rack up points over the 24 hours. I kind of wish that they'd done that maybe for like the rest of the thing, but I understand why like difficulties in the website.
You couldn't
on the
keep
first
doing
day.
that after the first day.
After the first
Wasn't
day,
it also
so
because people were no lifing it?
well, so I think part of it was to keep people from no lifing it.
Yeah.
Like for
why
some
do they
sort of
not
balance.
want people to no life it?
The tasks themselves had a check-in, so you had a 2-hour window in order to do your tasks, and then whatever didn't get done, and so you were just kind of left with whatever points were on the field on day 2, 3, and 4. But the first day it was like you could just do everything within the first 24 hours. So it was an interesting event. I've given my feedback to the company that put that on.
But it was their first time doing it, so
yeah,
right?
I wouldn't call it well managed because the website didn't work well for me. The website was
was a creator though.
Yes, it was a little behind.
It was a D2 creator.
If you're familiar with Destiny, if you're familiar with Destiny 2 recipes, then or Destiny recipes, then that like HairX was the person who did that website. Also, like Scarrow had like 1,000 people join on the first day. Like, and it like crashed many times. It did run a little bit slow to like capture things from the API, but I also think that was something that that's something that maybe was throttled on some end. I don't know the full extent of the technical difficulties of that website. I just know that I wouldn't like I don't envy HairX for the lift that was. Yeah. But I had fun with it. I think the concept like was a big swing, and they handled it well for the most part. Would
you like to see it again?
I would like to see something like that again, even if it wasn't like for creators, like creators heading up the thing. I would.
Would you like to see it something official in game? Because that's the one thing I heard about it. People were like, I'm not familiar with the community. I don't watch content creators, but this is something I'm interested in.
I think, so there's two things on that front. If it were something that were in game, the part of it that I think worked well was that it wasn't necessarily, it didn't affect anything in your game. So you could subscribe to like Tharsis Reformation, but in game you could do like Cabal, right? So you weren't tied to that if you didn't like that faction. Like if you don't like that faction in the game, but you like the creator that was tied to that faction, like you could separate those two things. I think making it so like on the creator side of it, I felt like
they couldn't do it in game.
Right. Yeah.
Because all three characters can be aligned to a different thing.
Yeah. So you would want to. There's some messiness there. I liked that it wasn't tied explicitly to the game that way. I do wish that they had promoted it earlier in the TWIDs, because then like more people would have gotten to know about it other than the last day. Like the last day is when they posted about it in the TWID. So,
really?
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Okay.
So it was there were some things that they could have done better, but I've given that feedback to them too. So we'll see.
That's interesting.
We'll
I do think that they need to have more community-based events like that.
Or leaderboards. Leaderboards.
Yeah.
I don't know about leaderboards.
Well, but that was the thing that was driving people. Like
leaderboards are what people like leaderboards.
Yeah.
People love leaderboards.
They love leaderboards.
Yeah.
And then you do a reset of a leaderboard every season. People are that's replayability. Honestly, especially in first-person shooters, leaderboards is replayability for a lot of people.
That's what people really liked the Guardian games earlier this year. Last year, whenever we had like the Guardian games thing where you could get like a very high score every day, get the emblem. Even this year with the helmet thing, high score. People love high score stuff.
Yeah. And like that was was one of the things. Was like it was just a cool opportunity. It was a lot of fun. Even though my team lost, I got to hang out with Zavaler and I got to meet Sweatsickle, and they were really cool creators to like be paired up with, and really fun. And
my main complaint not being part of it isn't because I wasn't part of it. My main complaint is not being part of it is that I had to actually choose. Like, obviously, my wife was part of it.
Exactly.
Pretty. But there were other people, like, if she wasn't part of it, there were so many people where it's like, well, I could join your team or your team. I don't want to choose.
It's just personal favorites that a lot of people picked.
Yeah. Well, and what ended up being the defining thing was the betrayal system on the website. Because you could betray your commander and then go to a different like lieutenant and apply your points to them, which is how the Pikers like really shifted tides there at the end. Like, yeah, it's
still
like
bitter about it.
Yeah, I'm not bitter about it. I have some words for Tidley when I see her again. Because she convinced somebody from my squad to leave.
Oh, there we go. Now we get to the bottom of it.
But other than that, it was a good time. Other than breaking friendships, it was a good time. So
that could be our new faction wars. I know everybody has been talking about like these three factions being Dead Orbit, Future Marco, and Monarchy. This is probably them trying to test out the Warders and replacing it. So
yeah,
I hope they do more with that. And I personally like it being outside of the game.
Yeah,
I don't know how they make this work in the game, especially because
too many wires.
What if they did
all three characters can pick a different one.
What if they did it in game, but it was character based? Like you could pledge to the faction in game, and then you were locked into it for like a week.
Oh, people would not like that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like you,
like for a week, you decide,
unless you're saying your entire account is locked.
No, you're so I'm on a hunter, and I'm like for this week, for this faction war this week or whatever, this syndicate war this week, I want to be part of the Pikers. Just this week, just this one event. I want to be part of the Pikers, and I'm locked into it. Or I can be.
But you're not locked in on your hunter or your warlock and Titan.
So you could do all three of them. It would just be you're locked in on that character for that week.
Well, that's what I was saying. I don't think that works because of being able to pick all three.
Because you can game the system that way.
Because you can game the system. Like if someone wanted to like no life, they could just do 18 hours for Pikers, 18 hours for Tharsis.
Yeah.
But then they're competing against themselves.
Yeah. Like
but they're also still attributing to all three.
Yeah.
They're still helping all three. So they're not really picking
against themselves. Because still one has to win.
Yeah, but one would have to win, but they would win no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was getting at.
What rewards would you tie to it? Like, because that's, I think, the skinny of it is that they didn't want to make it so that there were like in-game rewards, or this is me speculating. I don't think that they wanted to make in-game, like tie in-game rewards to it because it's just a marketing thing, right? Like it's like the only thing
that was a marketing.
The only effect that it actually had overall was that there's going to be an emblem that has the Pikers logo on it now. Like that is given out to the community. Like that's the prize for that.
But
and
they did something similar in game when they did the Mars thing, didn't they?
Which Mars thing?
I got a rainbow wheel in my head, man.
Mars, before they voted Mars, they were like, what was it called? Oh my god, I cannot remember. They had this whole thing where the community had to do like X amount. I think it was like X amount of like escalation protocol.
It was escalation protocol, yeah.
Yeah.
But
it was something similar, wasn't it?
But it wasn't competitive in that way. It was like
it was just like a community event of like doing X amount of escalation protocols.
Yeah. But they did do community events like similar, not competitive, but similar. And you could argue that Guardian Games is very...
Yeah, Guardian Games is probably the closest that we have to what the Oath of the Renegades thing is. But I just don't think that they... I don't think that they tie you to it unless you're like locked in on one character, for that week.
They would have to lock it in for a count.
Yeah,
to make it. What's the word? Matter. I just want to say
actually competitive.
To make your choice matter. That's what I'm saying. Because otherwise, we just like even in Guardian Games, it's like I don't care who wins because I'm playing Hunter, Titan, and Warlock.
Yeah.
So no matter what the reward is, I still get it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So if they wanted like that whole faction war to actually matter, you would have to pledge one class, and that's your class you pledged for the event or something like that. And then you're incentivized to, well, I got to get on to help my hunters. I got to get on to help Tharsis or help Pikers. Otherwise, it's like, Tharsis is about to win. Let me get on my Tharsis.
I'll do an amuse of Totality Division. I'll do...
Yeah. I'm not saying it would work, but I know like that's what I would do.
Yeah.
I would just pick whichever. I would just
You'd game the system
on each and just game the system.
Okay.
We've done that in the past.
Confirm chat. Dan has no integrity. No, I'm kidding.
I've done it for every event.
The Destiny community has
way
no
back in the
integrity.
day, if you remember, way back in the day, like back in Forsaken era, when you had to actually pick between the Drifter and the Vanguard.
Yeah.
One of my classes picked Drifter, one of them picked Vanguard, and one of them picked nobody just to see what would happen.
No integrity.
But no, I did the same thing. I did the same thing. No, to be
the
fair.
Destiny community has no integrity. They'll do everything in the possible to game a system.
Absolutely.
To the max of its ability.
100%.
Oh
So
yeah.
unless you force me and incentivize me to pick, I'm just going to add 3 classes for a reason.
Outside of raid and dungeon races.
So say you get a class item. Say you get a special like class item or something.
Yeah.
That has, if you win, you get a special class item. And you could only select like, okay, on my hunter, I'm going to choose Pikers. On my warlock, I'm going to choose Tharsis. It's like, do I want to go ahead and get the class item for the warlock, or do I want to get the class item for the hunter? Well, if I want the class item for the hunter, then I want to do the Pikers. I want the Pikers to win. But I would still be able to pledge to my warlock for the class item. So I could still pledge to all of them, all 3 of them, and then still get something. It's just which one do I want more?
My incentive would just be on the one that I want the class item of.
Did you play Destiny 1, Sammy? I can't remember.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, so they had those class items.
They had that whole system in D2 though as well in the first year. If you pledge to New Monarchy, Dead Orbit, and Future War Coat, if you got it to rank 50, you got the exotic catalyst and the exotic ornament.
Right.
Whereas most people, like myself, I had one class pick each one, grinded it all the way up to 50, then moved on to the next one, so I could have all of the things.
Yeah.
It would have been different if my entire account had to pick Future War Coat, Dead Orbit, or Mnemonic. Then I'm like, okay, I really want the Hunter Graviton Forfeit Ornament, but I really want the Sunshot Catalyst. Which one do I go for? That would have been something that would have been actually interesting to incentivize me which one to go for. Otherwise, I'm just going to pick all 3, 1 per class, and then just game the system to get all 6 things.
Yeah. See, that's what I mean, where it's like you could only get one top prize, but you get to choose which one, but you were locked into trying to get that one top prize per
That
week.
would be interesting if they hard locked your account
That's
to
what
one
I meant.
choice.
Or one class.
I can see the tweets. I can see the Reddit.
I would be interested. They would never do it. because I could see it now. Say Titans are just leagues better, but someone who only plays Hunter wasn't going to pick Titan anyway. They already are out of it. I get why they don't do it. They give you the choice, but like, I would love to see a world where your choice truly mattered to your account.
Like, I would
it would be more meaningful if Hunters won for
it.
something, or Titans won, or Warlocks.
Meaningful. Or if you can switch it where it's like, okay, well, I like the class item I would get for my Hunter. I really like the cloak for the Pikers. I don't like it for the other two. But for the Warlock, I really like Tharsis for the Bond. So it's like I could switch to which one I want.
Just not that week.
I can see it now. They'll make the system, but make it to where if Sami wanted the Hunter stuff, but Titans were winning, Sami would have to pledge to the Titans, but but would only get half progress, like they do for a Guardian game. So like a Titan doing something is 1 point per strike, for example, but Hunters have to do 2.
That would be so terrible and so cool at the same time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they have to make it matter at least a little bit, but it would be interesting it would help the players that only play one.
Fight for it. I would fight, and I would get my friends to fight because I would need that freaking Hunter cloak. And
that's so funny.
And I don't care.
But it would matter so much to you once you got it.
Twice.
Yes. It would matter so much.
I would play that. I honestly would play that. And that's not me saying, oh, I would play that and then I don't actually play it. I would, or a shader. Oh my God. If I would fight.
The community moves mountains for shaders and emblems.
I've seen literally.
I've seen it.
I would sell my soul for his shader.
Crazy.
All right. I think that's all the questions fit to print for this evening. Sorry if we didn't get to your questions tonight. I'll try to get to it another evening.
So
folks,
much for it being a short or a light week.
Yeah, man.
It's because
we had to make up for 3 weeks.
Sorry.
We got into it.
It's because of me.
This was the entire month's podcast because we hadn't been on for like 3 weeks.
Enjoy,
I should have stayed in chat.
And we had to end the year with a good episode. So you're welcome.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry about your questions, but not sorry.
Let's land this plane.
Wow.
Let's land this plane. Folks, thank you so much for listening to the Destiny Digest podcast. Before we go, let's go around the horn and tell people where they can find us on the internet. Eseipha, why don't we start with you?
Oh my God, I am not really on the internet anymore, but you can find me on Blue Sky. That's pretty much where I am sometimes. Other than that, with the same name, by the way, same handle and everything. Other than that, I sometimes lurk in Discords or sometimes in Twitch chats, but that's pretty much it. That's it. Blue Sky. Yep.
All right. Epic Dan, what about you, bud?
You can find me on the twitch.tv/EpicDan22. You can find me on the YouTube at EpicDan22 and on the TikTok, Blue Sky, Twitter, Instagram. If you Google EpicDan22, you will find me almost everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Sami, where can people find you, friend?
You can find me on twitch.tv/SamiCat. I'm also on YouTube. And Blue Sky at SamiCat, and then SamiCat plays on Twitter and TikTok.
And you can find me, Danfinity, at DanfinityGG on most places. You can go to my website, danfinity.gg. There's going to be more stuff going up there in the new year. I just want to say thanks, everybody, for coming and listening to us every week that we broadcast. It truly means a lot. It has been just over a year with you guys, all as a panel, and it's been just a blast. Looking forward to many more episodes to come. As for you online, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I hope that you have a good new year coming up.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And we hope you find what you're grinding for.